Welcome, everybody. We would like to welcome you to our third and final webinar. This one is called Consider the Possibilities, College Planning for Students with Intellectual Disabilities. And this one in particular is about the college experience. So as all of you are joining us tonight, we encourage you to put your name in the chat and tell us where you're coming from. Feel free to share perhaps what you represent as a family member, a student, or an educator, or some other capacity. And we have the chat function located at the bottom of your screen. And we have a set of slides. Let's see. Next slide, please. Thank you. So again, this is September 17th. Our first one was on September 3rd, right? This is Real Talk, the College Experience. So at the onset, we want to acknowledge and express our gratitude to Rita Jo Scarcella and her staff of interpreters at Sign of the Times for providing sign language interpreting for our webinars. Tonight's interpreters are Heather Ivy and Jai Wexler, so thank you very much. Also, we have closed captioning available by accessing the toolbar, which is located at the bottom of your screen, where the words Show Captions are displayed. So for the next hour and a half, we will be sharing stories, perspectives, information, and resources, all with the intended goal to empower possibilities for inclusive post-secondary education. All of us here value inclusion, and we know that inclusion works. How to make it a valued and meaningful option in post-secondary education has been the focus of our conversation in all three of our webinars. But we also want you to be part of the conversation, and so we encourage you to post comments and questions in the Q&A function, and that's found on the toolbar under the word More. We've scheduled time at the conclusion of our presentations to address as many questions and comments as we can. Next slide, please. So for those of you who may not know us, we are PennTASH, a chapter of National TASH, and this is an organization that advances equity, opportunity, and inclusion for people with disabilities. Our Pennsylvania TASH is very active in advocacy at the local level, at the state level, and also involved in various aspects at the national level. If you would like to know more or are interested in becoming a member, you can follow the links that we'll be putting in the chat. Also, we want you to know that all three webinars, including this one, have been and are being recorded. The first two have already been posted to the TASH YouTube channel, and this one will be posted in the next few days. You will also have access to a variety of resources that have accompanied each of the webinars, and those will accompany the YouTube TASH YouTube postings. All of you who are here today will receive an email notifying you when the video for this webinar 3 and its resources have been posted to the TASH YouTube channel. I know for all of us who've been involved in this, we've been excited to plan and host these webinars because what we talk about here really speaks to our core value around inclusion. But it also has given us the opportunity as PennTASH, has given us a platform to specifically address inclusion through the lens of post-secondary education. So if you did not attend webinar 1 or 2, we encourage you to check them out on the TASH YouTube channel. Before we head into the content of our program, we want to extend gratitude to those who made these webinars possible. Funding was through TIPSID, for its transition and post-secondary programs for students with intellectual disabilities. This was a grant associated through Millersville University and the Pennsylvania Inclusive Higher Education Consortium, PIAC. And last, we want to give a big shout out to the Education Committee of PennTASH, and in particular, its Webinar Planning Committee, who developed and coordinated all these webinars, and to National TASH, who worked with us specifically, Donald Taylor, who coordinated the registration, the marketing, and the Zoom logistics for the webinars. So our plan for today's webinar is, as we have done with webinar 1 and 2, we're going to have a number of student and family perspectives. And then we're going to be concentrating some of our content and discussions around career studies and how to prepare for a positive college experience. And then we'll leave some time for question and answers. We want you to take away some of these things. We hope that you will gain new insights about the possibilities that students and families can have from listening to their perspective. We hope that you will expand your knowledge around career studies as it relates to post-secondary education. And we hope that you will take away some of the strategies that we're going to explore tonight that support a positive college experience. And then too, we have lots of resources for you, and we hope that they will be useful to you in the future as well. So let's begin. We would like to introduce you to our first presenter, and that is Sean Alion, and he's coming through to us tonight via a video. So Sean is a talented and ambitious African-American male who lives with cerebral palsy. He is a human rights, disability rights, and civil rights advocate. He is a self-proclaimed trendsetter and known for breaking down barriers and stereotypes that marginalize Black males and individuals with disabilities. Sean began his pursuit of higher education with the Academic for Adult Learning at Temple University, and he earned a certificate of completion in 2014. He then made a conscious decision to continue his studies in preparation for his future by enrolling as a matriculated student in the Fox School of Business in spring of 2018. Sean is currently a legal studies and finance student in the Fox School of Business, where he is pursuing an undergraduate degree in business law and finance with a minor in real estate.
Hi, everyone. We have Sean Alion here, and he is going to tell us all the possibilities that college has created for him. So, Sean, when did you decide that you wanted to go to college?
Hi, Lisa, and thank you for having me. I did decide I would want to go to college back in middle school.
Middle school.
Yes,
And what things made you think it was possible to do that?
because of my family and my strong will. And I also have a teacher that told me that college was not for me, but I told him that I am going to prove you wrong.
That's wonderful. So, you had a lot of support and you
Yeah.
had to believe in yourself, right?
Yes, that is correct.
And how different was college compared to like high school and middle school?
Way different, like different. Like college, if you have a disability, you get at the time, but when the time is up, the deadline, and if you don't finish that work on time, then you will be in big trouble.
So it's a lot different in college because you have
Way different.
deadlines.
Different. The work, the atmosphere, how you engage with each other.
What would you tell other individuals with disabilities that might not think college is for them?
Um, the college is for you. Don't let no one tell you that college is not for you. It is for you.
There you go. You heard it from Sean Allion that college is for everyone. Sean, could you tell us one moment in college that really changed your life? Highlight one of the things that you really benefited from.
What? one thing that I benefit from was getting involved in on my campus, from my fraternity to my organizations, and to just being open-minded to different culture, di- different background,
And could you tell everyone what fraternity that you were a part of?
that I'm still a part of.
Yes.
Alpha Phi Alpha.
What are some of the doors that opened for you? Tell us a little bit about your internship.
Well, right now I am in Washington, D.C., doing a prestigious internship through the Washington Center, and I am on the Hill advocating, but I work for NACDD.
That's very impressive. You're advocating on the Hill, and you have an internship in Washington, D.C. And do you think that being in college opened that door for you?
Yes, yes, 100%.
That is wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing all the possibilities that college has brought to you. And thank you, Sean Allion. Thanks for being with us today to share your story.
Thank you, Sean. I want to also, I was remiss in telling you that that was Lisa Aquila, and she is also a member of TASH, Pennsylvania TASH, and has been on the education committee and very instrumental in the planning of these webinars as well. So I have to say a couple things that struck me with Sean's sharing. He said, "My strong will," and is what helped him to continue and pursue college. And I want to highlight that that has been a theme of so many of the students who have spoken to us, and that is they are self-aware of what they want, of their strengths, and also some of their challenges. And I think that's a lesson, an important message for all parents and all educators out there. And then, his confidence in believing that college is for you is such a strong message to students. So thank you again, Sean. Okay, moving along now. Next, we're going to introduce the remaining presenters that we have for tonight. And I will start with Kate Filkowski. So Dr. Kate Filkowski is a member of the Postsecondary Education Subcommittee of Pennsylvania TASH. She is an assistant professor in the School of Education at the University of Delaware, and one of the courses that she teaches is School to Adult Life Transitions and Disability. Dr. Filkowski is a lifelong disability advocate and also a sibling of a brother who helped start the Right to Education movement. So welcome, Kate. We also have with us tonight Tartil, and I'm not sure I am getting the last name correct, Jagurder, and I apologize, so feel free to correct that later when you are speaking. Tartil began the Career Studies program at Penn State Harrisburg in fall of 2022 after graduating from Camp Hill High School. From the beginning, Tartil knew she wanted to work with little children. She enrolled and audited Penn State Harrisburg classes in child development to learn more about children. Tartil participated in many activities on campus and especially loved attending the Latino Gala, as well as various events the Indian Student Association sponsored on campus. Tartil had the opportunity to do some practicum work in both a childcare and a preschool setting as part of her career exploration activities in the program. And Tartil was hired and is currently working full-time at Inspiration Station, a childcare center in Camp Hill, and is doing a fabulous job. Next, we have Christopher King. Christopher is a 2025 graduate from Millersville University's Integrated Studies Initiative. The link to this initiative is being dropped in the chat, so you can find out more information about that. Christopher holds minors in musical theater and social justice from his time while he was at Millersville. He is employed with a catering company. He also volunteers at performance venues and a children's musical theater camp. And he was a percussionist in the Millersville University Marauder Marching Band, if I said that right. Next, we have Jennifer King. Jennifer has successfully advocated for full inclusion for her son throughout his public schooling and has supported his increasing independence in an inclusive post-secondary initiative. She has worked as an inclusion consultant for students with significant disabilities in multiple school districts. She has held leadership roles in multiple disability organizations, and she has advocated on education issues at the state level. So, welcome, Jennifer. Next, Dr. Linda Wren. Linda is currently a teaching professor at Penn State Harrisburg, where she started the Career Studies program, an inclusive post-secondary education program, and that was back in 2015. The program continues to support 15 young adults each year as they study academics, explore careers, and participate fully in all programs, activities, and social events on Penn State Harrisburg campus. Linda also teaches courses to graduate and undergraduate students, and she coordinates the Special Education Certification Program. She served as board president of the Peel Board and was a member for 9 years. Prior to coming to Penn State, some of you may know that she worked at the Pennsylvania Department of Education as a senior policy advisor and director of the Bureau of Special Education, where she initiated inclusive education programs throughout the state of Pennsylvania. She was executive director of Lancaster Lebanon Intermediate Unit and held other positions at the Department of Education prior to that. She credits TASH, Dr. Lou Brown, and Pennsylvania TASH with inspiring her commitment to inclusion, and she's grateful for the support the program and students receive from the Penn State Harrisburg program. She thanks the families of Career Studies students for entrusting Penn State and its program to support their students, and is grateful for the students who step forward to enroll in these inclusive post-secondary education programs. Next, we have Colleen Topko. Colleen is a parent, chair of PennTASH, past coordinator with Include Me from the START initiative, and past coordinator of the Arcadia Annual Inclusion Institute and consultant with Parent to Parent of Pennsylvania. She's president of Kids Together, Inc., creator of The Parent Side, a member of the Temple Institute on Disabilities Consumer Advisory Committee, and also a past founding member of Pennsylvania Education for All Coalition, known as PEAK. Thank you. Next is Sean Tomko. So Sean graduated from Palisades High School in Bucks County, Pennsylvania in 2008, and he attended Lehigh University for 4 years. He is currently employed part-time at Hill Fenstermaker Law Firm, where he has worked for 11 years. Sean volunteers at the Bucks County Library, local PBS station, Music Fest, and other community events. He attended Temple's Transition Partners in Policymaking and multiple ACES training, and ACES stands for Augmentative Communication, Empowerment, and Supports, an intensive program for young adult users of augmentative and alternative communication, which we know as AAC. And then last but not least, we have several moderators. We have Kathy Brill, Colleen Tomko is also doing double duty tonight with that, and Betsy Winter Hall. And they all are assisting in various capacities, including our Q&A, and they all are active members of our education committee. Also, all of them are proud parents of either former college or prospective college students. Okay, now we go on to some more student perspectives, and we are excited to have with us Christopher King. He's going to offer some of his insights about his college experience. Next slide, please. Thank you. So, Christopher, how did going to college help you grow in independence as a person?
Uh, um, this is a question. I learned about taking care of myself to stay healthy, like choosing nutritious f- food, sleep, and staying fit with basketball, walking, and yoga.
Wow, I love yoga too. So that sounds like lots of fun activities that you were involved in. So is this something else that you did?
Yes, I do, actually. I took care of my dorm room. Oh, I went to take the city bus and Uber into Lancaster for my internships and work. Wait.
Awesome. So what social opportunities did you have at Millersville University? Excellent.
I had coaches, to support me in classes, internships, and employment. Some coaches, coaches became friends, and we hung out together. Next, I was I was a senator and Millersville University Marauder marching band all for years. We we must sisters and parades played at football games and performed at band competitions. We we even marched and and the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day parade.
He was in a marching band.
Yes, I did. I got to meet many students and the marching band. We spent a lot of time together. I was in the all campus, okay, especially musical
Yeah.
organization or animal house. I should and made props for for the shows. Is I I perfumed I perf I perf I performed in some Acmo coffee houses doing karaoke. Next, I also hung out. I also hung out with Acmo friends and ate together. I went to New York, Noel, and saw Mulan World on Broadway. I went to the National Museum of, of African American History, and culture in Washington, D.C. Modern
Oh,
I went to season was we haunted house.
this would be very.
We world the haunted hayway.
What?
It's a haunted house.
Yeah, and I guess
Those pictures are just absolutely wonderful to tell your story. Thank you. So, a couple more questions. Can you give examples of how you stayed on top of things and what kind of support did you get at Millersville University?
That's obvious. I had a student led meeting every month. We talked about what's doing well and what needs to be fixed. Directorate assistants helped me organize my assignments. Coaches, coaches assisted me to do my homework. I learned to advocate for myself, like specific when I wanted to change my manual and my programming director said no. I always aim to team with the faculty, the faculty advice and she said yes, yes. We this we did two paths from person centered planning. My path guides me to the futures I I want to dream have.
So, college classes can be difficult. What classes benefited you the most?
oh, I should put.
This, guys, I like doing things with my hands, like in my stagecraft and production critical classes. One of my minors is social justice. Justice. One class was an internship at these disability empowerment center. I'm not, I'm not, I'm, I made flyers and give a presentation. Next, I also had an internship at the Proton Theater. My primary minor was theater. Musical theater. Theater. Yeah, I worked backstage doing drums Plus. Next.
So another question we have for you is, how did you work on employment skills while you were at Millersville University?
Hello, this one. I, I worked at the Performing Arts Center in Millersville University and worked as an usher. I learned about communicating with coworkers and patrons. It's in my shirt here.
And our last question for you, I think this is the last one, is what are your future plans?
Yay! I'm a piece of plans. I graduated in May. I am working as a server for a catering companies. I I am looking for an additional job. I am volunteering at a local theater as a counselor service for musical theater. Theater classes. I also volunteering in the concession stand the yesterday. I am pursuing an opportunity with our center for Center for Immediate for and the Center for Independent Human Living. Thank you. See my video on YouTube for more information. Please keep Minister University.
Thank you so much, Christopher. The story, the experiences that you had in college, and how busy you kept. I mean, you gave us some wonderful examples for future students to be able to attend college to show what was successful for you. So thank you so much for your sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up then, we have Dr. Linda Wren, and she's going to be talking a little bit about the Career Studies program at Penn State Harrisburg, and that's going to be followed by a conversation with student Tartil Jagwadura, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, and she'll tell you about her college experience. So go ahead, we welcome you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting us to participate, and thanks to everybody who's watching. This is probably my favorite program and favorite activities to do, or anything with this program. So we started in 2015 with 2 students, and now we average about 15 students a year come to our program. This is a photo of our group this year. We have a 2-year program, so included are our first year and second year students in the program. So I'm going to, on the next slide, start by giving just an overview of the program. And I think you'll find that these inclusive post-secondary education programs have much in common, because we follow the standards that have been adopted for this program, and anyone can look at those standards on Think College. So these are kind of the pillars, or the basic elements of the program. Academic enrichment, which means auditing academic credit courses, and the courses are modified for the students to participate. Social enrichment means just being involved in anything and everything on campus with peer support. Of course, career exploration, because this is about getting employment at the end of the day, and a variety of career exploration from job shadowing to practicums in local businesses and on campuses, on our campus, with the goal of leading to employment when the students leave the program. And we do have customer relations and life transition coursework. Our students can earn a credential from the National Retail Foundation, and customer relations really involves just about everything related to working with people in some capacity. So it's not limited to the retail careers. And life transition coursework for the students to focus on how they can best participate, how they can best present themselves to employers, and developing their goals for after graduation. So on the next slide, we talk about such a kind of the glue that holds the whole program together, the peer mentors, and those are full-time Penn State Harrisburg graduate students and undergraduate students who work with our students. They do any one of a number of things, attending academic classes, helping students to take notes, providing academic support to help with the students' assignments. In some cases, they do job coaching with the students for jobs on campus and off campus, and providing social support. So the peer mentors are really vital to the program. And the only negative thing about peer mentors is, like all students, they eventually graduate and leave us, and we have to provide more peer mentors. But it's probably, I think that the peer mentors tell us that it's very rewarding for them to do this work. And students in the program say that the peer mentors are their favorite aspect of the program. So on the next slide, we talk about auditing academic classes, and this just gives a little more detail about how that works. The worst part of academic classes are getting them scheduled and getting everybody in a class or classes that they would like to take. There's no limit to the number of classes, the academic classes that the students take. The key is that the assignments are modified by our program coordinators, and they work with the academic faculty. We have had just so much support from the academic faculty for the program. It is so rewarding. And, having worked through issues on inclusion over the years, I find it's just a highlight of how the faculty want to work with the students and make them feel comfortable and a sense of belonging in their classes. So Christopher talked about his person-centered plan and how he designed his path. So we use something, a person-centered planning tool called Lion Tracks, because everything at Penn State has to do with a lion, right? So our Lion Tracks person-centered plan, you can see it's a process-oriented approach, working to empower the students to take charge and define the direction of their lives. They meet with us, talk about what they are good at, their interests, goals, and needs. Their families give input as well. And then each student has 3 goals per semester, which come from their Lion Tracks plan. So we build their Lion Tracks portfolio throughout the 2 years that they participate in the program. Requirements for our program, like how, as the next slide, and how do you get into the program? How do you get this moving? We require everybody to take a campus tour and participate in an information session. we every now and then we get requests for people who just want to enroll without seeing the campus, but we feel strongly that they really have to visit our campus and see what Penn State Harrisburg is all about while classes are in session. And as FYI, our next information session is November 5th and is published on our website. We have an online application that includes recommendations from three individuals who, outside of their immediate family, who recommend that they participate in the program, and giving us some recommendations on how they think the students will do in the program. We also do an individual interview where the students come to campus for the interview, and then a small group immersive interview where the students spend some time shadowing other students in the program. So to apply, you can see some information there about our program application. We accept applications on a rolling basis after the first of the year. It's critical and required that the FAFSA be completed by May 1st. That's an absolute requirement to be in the program. And I know there have been, some challenges with FAFSA the last few years of deadlines changing. So whenever that deadline for FAFSA is, the students do need to complete that. We also, along with the application, require their most recent IEP and most recent evaluation report, in addition to the 3 letters of recommendation. And according to the standards we're following in the Higher Education Act, we do have to verify that the student was eligible and received services under IDEA, and that they qualify as an individual with an intellectual disability or other developmental disability. They need to have that to be eligible for the program. We also require the name of their supports coordinator and their OVR counselor. Oftentimes, supports coordinators refer students to our programs, but it's really critical that we have that contact information. And on the next slide, we just strongly encourage students to apply for a waiver through their county in the Office of Developmental Programs. And I don't know if everybody watching knows, but under those waiver guidelines, funds can be used to pay for tuition and fees for inclusive post-secondary programs. There's a maximum amount that can be applied to the programs each year. But it's, in our view, it's really critical that the students apply at their county for the waiver, and should have that in process several years before they're going to graduate. Most of our incoming students have a waiver through the County Office of Intellectual Disability. However, we have had students who've just come in on private pay. So and also out-of-state students who perhaps get some kind of funding from their state, but they pay privately for the program. So the next agency on the next slide, OVR, is critical as well. Our program has had a long relationship with OVR since we began the program. And I think probably some of you know that, it was around 2013, 2014 that the braided funding came about that enabled students to get supports from waiver and from OVR. So, we all kind of work together and make sure we're providing the information the agencies need. So students should work with their OVR counselor to plan well before enrollment. The next slide talks about scholarships. And many of you probably know too about the Dream Partnership. And that was founded by Donna Parton. Her daughter, Demi Keller, dreamed of going to college as her brother did. And Donna started a foundation called the Dream Partnership. And way back, in 2014, and the Dream Partnership is still available. So individuals who are accepted into some of the college programs can apply for a Dream Partnership scholarship. And I really credit the Dream Partnership for giving all of us the incentive to begin these programs. And I believe they still support new programs that are coming online. Also, Ruby's Rainbow is something at the national level where students can apply for scholarships. And of course, Think College provides a resource for people to find out about programs, where are the programs, what all of the programs are about. So the next slide, I just want to give a few examples, and then I want to introduce you to Tartil, who's going to tell you about her experiences. So one of the, everything is exciting and students make so many gains, but the student on the far left, Maggie, was the first Division III field hockey team member with an intellectual disability. So we had a first at Penn State Harrisburg. Maggie completed the program last year, and she's now an assistant coach on the field hockey team, and she is also employed in our School of Business, where she had done a practicum before. So we were just so proud of that. Our field hockey coach just jumped on the opportunity, and you may know that in Division III there is a waiver process that these students can apply to be on a Division III athletic team. The second slide, a young man, Jonathan Lynn, who completed our program, and he got a job. He now works full-time on our campus with maintenance and operations. And it was just, a wonderful success story. Look at Jonathan beaming. His maintenance and operations, the physical plant team, got an award on campus for inclusion. And the team got the award for all of the support that they provide Jonathan. And then he gave the most wonderful speech on receiving the award. So, again, a significant outcome. The third slide, Chloe, is on the Penn State Harrisburg cheerleading team, is one of our students. And here is Tartil and a picture of her hired by Inspiration Station. So the next photos are of Tartil. And Tartil came to us. She had just moved to Camp Hill, Pennsylvania from Queens, New York. And she can tell us how she found out about the program, and lives not too far from where I live. So she came over to join me for the program tonight. So I can ask Tartil the questions if that works for everyone. And maybe she'll just sort of chat and give you the background. So Tartil, how did you and your family learn about our program?
When I was in Camp Hill High School, Miss Rager, she's the lead teacher of Camp Hill High School, and she's the one spoke to me first and then spoke about this program, about career studies program. And then I told my family, and my family reached out to Dr. Wren and Miss Sandy, which is she not here. So, and now I when I was in career studies program, I enjoyed a lot with my peers and my teachers and my friends.
Yeah. Tartiel always said she loved the program. So, what were the activities you enjoyed?
Um, the activities I enjoyed was Latino Gala and all the fun events that we had long time ago. And I did have a lot of fun. I rather like anytime when I see fun events, I will just go outside and have fun with my friends.
Okay. How did you enjoy connecting with the peer mentors on campus?
Um, when I first met them, I was first I introduced to myself to the peer mentors, and they were like they were really nice. They were good helper. Plus they were such a good friends of mine. They were really good helpers.
So, tell us about any work experiences you had through the program.
Um, well, when I was in Penn State Harrisburg, I used to work from off campus to outside of the campus. I worked in the lunchroom before when I was in Penn State, and off campus, I went to Marshalls and Home Goods, and I also went to the what do you call the where the old people works.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I
A
forgot.
nursing home.
Yeah. It was fun. And I also worked at the Humane Society, which is one of my favorites. Most of my favorites is working with children.
Okay, so you knew coming in that you really wanted to work with children from the beginning,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So did your work experiences lead to you getting a job?
Yes, it did. For when I started Penn State, I was always wanted to work with little children's, and once I learned about career studies and when I did a practice job, a practicum, and outside of the campus, and that made me really suits how to work with children.
So tell us about your job now.
Right now I'm working at Inspiration Station Early Learning Daycare. I am a floater teacher. I go every classroom. I work with toddlers, I work with pre-Ks, and I also work with infant. That's made me really fun. If any teachers are sick or not feeling too good, I cover them.
Great, okay. So, I don't know, like what did you enjoy most about the program? What
I like the peer mentors, the teachers, the professors, you, Miss Sandy, everyone in Penn State. I enjoyed a lot.
Okay, lots of personal relationships,
Mhm.
right? Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Um, I would love to say if anyone, please, if you guys go to Penn State, make sure you choose your favorite class, which class is your favorites, and make sure you have fun.
Okay, and what do you think about going to college? You were telling me about a friend of yours who you was talking to you about going to college.
With the peer mentors, I like my peer mentors, they really good helpers. And the friend, I like share anything. If I need help, I would always ask them to help with my assignments. If I can read it, if I need help with reading, the peer mentors always there to help me out
So do you recommend college?
a lot. Yeah, more than work. No offense.
Everybody likes to be in school. Good. Okay. Well, you really worked hard when
Yeah.
you were with us, and it really paid off.
And I really hope Miss You can hire me again. Please do.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the panel, or do we move on now?
Yeah, I think we'll wait for the questions and answers near the end. So I want to thank Tartil and you, Linda, very much for the sharing wonderful insights and very good information as well. So, okay. Up next then, we are going to hear some perspectives from college student Sean Tomko and his mom, Colleen Tomko. So I'm going to turn it over to Colleen.
Okay. Hi, my name's Colleen Tomko, aka Sean's mom. Most of the time I'm known that way. I'd like to first show you a video of Sean that we made for this webinar. And I wanted to make it clear that the comments that you hear are his thoughts. However, I help him construct a full message for things like this, so he can quickly share his thoughts without others waiting and guessing. It's like a back and forth process. He gives me like a word or 2 words, and I guess if it's the right one, and then we clarify. If it's wrong, he does like or erase it. And if it's right, then he says, he nods his head, he says yes, or he claps. And we go back and forth until I get the sentence correct the way that he wants it to say. So I wanted to make it clear that, you know, that others, even somebody with very limited language, can go to college. So here is Sean, what we recorded for you to meet him.
My name is Sean. I am 35 years old. I use this device to communicate. I went to Lehigh University for 4 years. I picked the classes that I took. Most were entertainment, but some were history. My favorite class was directing. I wrote a play and cast other classmates in roles. It was performed at the Zollner Arts Center and even had a playbill. I volunteered at the gym and the library and ate at student campus spots. I wanted to go to Lehigh because my dad went there. I directed my staff to support me around campus, and I led my own meetings. I liked going to Lehigh University. I am glad I went. I will go again. I work part-time at a law firm, volunteer at the library and PBS, go to the gym, and do other events, like shopping or the movies. I have support to go out in the community 4 days a week. My aide's name is Heidi. She works for Spin. I decide what I'm going to do and direct others to support me. I make choices.
Since Sean was born, we were told all the things that he couldn't or wouldn't be able to do because of his disabilities. Next slide. But I'm here to tell you that he did them. He did them a different way. He did them with support, with adaptations and technology, but he did them. We started planning in preschool for Sean to have as much control over his life as possible. And you've heard this before, and I'm repeating it again, but We use the vision statement to guide his every meeting. Next slide. As others have said, it is not good enough to just create a vision. It must be shared with others who are committed to making it happen. So Sean's is actually in the congressional records because Sean and I testified at a hearing on funding for special education services. And in the photo, it says from Congressman Greenwood, and it says, "Dear Colleen, Charles, and Sean, thank you for all your help. Best wishes with your vision for Sean." As he got older, he was able to communicate more and more of his interests and dreams and to add to his own vision and participate in his meetings. He also attended trainings at Temple Institute on Disabilities, that'll be in the link later, and which showed him the possibilities. Next slide. Sean had ecological vocational assessments completed during 2 summers of Lehigh University Transition and Assessment Program that supported individuals with disabilities ages 18 to 21 in the community. So Sean tried doing different tasks in different work environments to identify his preferences, interests, and needs. Quickly, he discovered he did not want to do any type of cleaning. He liked to be in an active environment with people. He worked at a billboard advertising company, and he loved that. As you could see below, he went that day. I always remember that because I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know how it would work out. And he came back, and obviously the people at the job site there got to know him pretty well as they gave him this souvenir from working there for a few days. So, and he loved that. And he pretty much liked any environment that had music and people and entertainment. He really liked the video store because his thing is really entertainment, but most of them have closed. But it was a really good experience to go out and try all the different environments of things that he liked. And in the summertime, he would work on, for ESY, extended school year, he would do job development, and he volunteered at the Crayola factory, at the DeSales University theater program, at a nursing home, among various places. There were others, I can't even remember, there's so many. But he was not pulled out of general education or classes during the school years, but he would work on skills at the high school when he had study hall. Sometimes he would be delivering the mail, or if somebody got flowers or something, he would be like the delivery person, or he would do tasks in the library when he had the study hall or a class period that was canceled or something. During transition, Sean used his device to say, "I go Lehigh." This was really important because it wasn't his parents saying it. It was him saying it. It was him saying what he wanted. And he would also add the word dad, which meant he wanted to go to Lehigh because that's where his dad went. I tried to get him to go to Penn State. That's where I went, but he stayed focused on Lehigh. So no, the district did not even imagine someone with Sean's level of needs attending college. But we remained focused on his preferences and interests as stated in IDEA, which is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. They only offered a segregated intermediate unit class working on filing. We said, well, Sean has always been included, always have been part of within his community. Why would we want to bus him out of his community to a segregated program to work on something that he's not interested in now? So if it doesn't fit his vision or it doesn't fit his vision or the path that he followed. Next slide. So going to college was really a natural progression that his peers and all the other students were taking, or most of them, and it was in line with the inclusive education he always had. He said he wanted to attend prom, walk at graduation with the peers he attended school with, and go to Lehigh like his dad. And the burden fell on us then to contact Lehigh University and talk about the possibilities. So he didn't just attend one prom, he attended 2 proms, and he had 2 dates at the first prom. And next slide. We already knew that Lehigh only supported students with disabilities in the community. That's how their transition program was set up. But Sean wanted to attend the college and experience the classes and the campus. So he actually ended up being the first to do that, to work on his individual goals and auditing the classes and participating on campus. It only happened because he asked, and because we worked with the people at the university and with the school, and it took a lot of planning. And then he attended there for 4 years from age 18 through 22. Funding for Sean was achieved through a settlement agreement. OVR would not step up because the district remained financially responsible for age 18 to 22. So they wouldn't do anything at all in our case. He continued to have an IEP, but not in the legal sense, because it was not part of free and appropriate education, because we had a settlement agreement in order for him to go there, which meant the district signed a contract and they paid Lehigh, and then we gave up FAPE in order for them to sign the agreement. And so he had this educational plan, and it was updated to match that college experience and his goals. Next slide. So my connections through TASH, they helped me a great deal when we were trying to plan for him to go to college. I could connect with others around planning, gaining information, ideas, research, experience, and expertise. There were families, there were professors, there were, transition people. There was a lot of connections that helped me a lot with TASH. And then there were also resources from various trainings. I went through the Competence and Confidence Partners in Policy Making. They had them in every state. In Pennsylvania, the Temple Institute on Disabilities has that. There will be a link to that in the chat and the resources. Connecting with other families to hear stories, specifically one of this young man named Micah Fialco Feldman. His story of how he was attending Syracuse University. His mother put together a video, and it's called Through the Same Door. And so I reached out to his mother, and I got so much information from her. She sent me samples of everything from the settlement agreement to the planning processes and all sorts of information to help us. She shared what was working for Micah, and that really gave me the strength to keep fighting. I highly recommend connecting with others who have been there and done that, because why reinvent the wheel? And it also gives you that strength to keep going. We'll include some more resources from the Syracuse in the resources at the end. Next slide. Some of the classes that Sean audited were directing, scenography, costume design, history of religion. I didn't know why he wanted it. He'd come home and find it on the internet and talk about it. So he really liked that. He likes the history of stuff. Other classes, and he ate on campus, and he used the facilities, and he volunteered at the library and the gym. So he was part of the whole culture at the campus. As he said, directing was his favorite class, and this photo is of him with the cast and his directing for his play. And so if you want to look up, I highly recommend you look it up. A link will be put in the chat and in the resources. Sean's Looney play. He wrote it himself, he directed it, and then he casted the classmates in it. And it really was something. They also had it, it in the regular Diamond Theater, and they treated it just like anybody else putting on a play. It was really impressive. You can also see more of Sean actually on campus. There's a video called The World of Transition, and they took images of him or video of him when he was walking around campus and doing different stuff. And it's a good introduction to thinking about transition. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, she's on. Attending Lehigh has led to increased interdependence and independence, increased communication and social skills, increased control in his life. It has led to increased self-advocacy and self-esteem, and it certainly has increased his identity, that he's being treated more by others as an adult. Next slide. And where other things have happened since he's attended college is he's been working part-time at a law firm for 14 years. He really enjoys that, and he's connected with the staff there. The next slide, you could see he directs his own support staff. He's volunteering at the library and other places. He's almost 14 or 15 years volunteering at Music Fest. That's like his big thing. It's, you know, all entertainment, and he loves volunteering at that, and he hands out freebies and things like that, just enjoys it. And the next slide. So over the years, he was advocating for himself to say that he wanted to work at PBS because he likes to be in that entertainment type of work atmosphere. And it did finally occur. So about a year ago, the agency that's supporting him finally got him set up, and there he is at the front desk. He opens the door, and I'm not sure, I'm not always there, so he's running his own life. But anyway, he's there, and he really enjoys that. He looks forward to that. He works there 1 day a week. And then on the next slide, another outcome really is people presume competence. When they learn that Sean attended Lehigh University and that he works and volunteers in typical reputable establishments, it really does make a difference. And I could just see how people start interacting with him more and communicate with him when they learn his background. Go ahead, next slide. So college can be for everyone. The bottom line is, with the right supports, anything is possible.
Wow, there is a reason that we chose to focus on consider the possibilities. So thank you so much, Colleen and Sean. Next up, we have for our final presentation tonight is Dr. Kate Fakowski, and she'll be speaking on how to plan for a positive college experience. Take it away, Kate.
Hi. Can you guys see me? There I am. Hi. So I am watching the time, and I'm going to try to speed things up a little bit. I realize that I'm the last and anchor speaker in the whole series. So thanks to PennTASH for this webinar series. I'm sure that families, students, teachers, supports coordinators, everyone can benefit from the series. And thanks in particular to the students who spoke in the series: Lavender, Mia Noel, Stephen, Christopher, Sean and Sean. I really appreciate all of your perspectives. Okay, next slide. Okay, back a slide. Sorry, I thought there was like a name slide there. Okay, so this is all about real talk. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the college experience, just like the whole college experience, not any particular program. And wanting to be sure that you are college ready. I want to point out that you don't have to wait until you're 18, 20, 21 to get ready for college and for your transition planning. Start planning early, start planning often. It's like running a marathon. You have to build the skills along the way. We need to inject college readiness skills into IEPs and transition plans from primary through secondary education. So I'm going to share a couple of real talk items about college so you can prepare to have the possibility to do this. Okay, now the next slide. You know that only 2 to 3% of students with intellectual and developmental disabilities are enrolled in post-secondary education? But in this area, there are 29 post-secondary education programs, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Students with intellectual disabilities have taken tens of thousands of courses. And you've heard from our panelists, students with intellectual disabilities have had thousands of paid jobs while at college. So college may be an option for you. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to explore 4 things for you to consider working into your IEPs and transition plans. This first one is about exploring college early. Things about college, like environments, teamwork, and communications. College is a lot different from high school. I think Sean Alliong talked about that. And it can be a difficult transition for anyone. So I've noticed three big things about freshmen coming into college that I want to share with you. The first thing is a lot of people really don't know what college is. So build into your plans time to discover what is college. There's so many different types of colleges, farm schools, art schools, local schools, state schools. The college can be very different depending on where you go. So go, not just do tours, but go see a concert, attend a football game, a basketball game, get a feel for the environment of the college. Colleges are different sizes. Figure out what makes you comfortable. The second thing here I would recommend is have some experience working in teams. A lot of college is about being in teams, doing teamwork, working with groups, joining clubs. And so that's a very important attribute of the college experience. Discover and try out different communications. I think of them as big talk and small talk, like the big talk, formal presentations, and small talk, how well are you chatting with your peers? It helps to get comfortable in different types of communications. And you can see the students that we've seen in this webinar series demonstrate they have a handle on the big talk. Great professional speakers. Next slide. Build into your plans what nourishes you. Don't wait till college to figure out how to create your personal supportive environment. What people and places nourish you? And when you're doing those college tours, start looking for those things. You may want to figure out what people nourish you. What kind of role models? We heard how Sean wanted to go to Lehigh because of his dad. So maybe you have people you know who've been in those universities, or that you have mentors like other students have already been through the process. Who can you talk to that will help boost you and nourish you? What kind of places are there on campuses that can nourish you? You might be surprised to know that colleges have tons of safe spaces, places where it's okay to not know things and people will help you. For example, there's the library and writing centers, college readiness programs and centers. There's a lot of places that can offer you different types of supports, and these resources are available for everyone to explore. You're not restricted to the resources in any particular program. You have the resources of the whole college at your disposal. Keep in mind that happiness and wellness are so important. So having people in places that nourish, it's what will take you all the way to the end of your college program. Next slide. Don't overlook technology. Have a plan to learn and navigate technology. Get exposure to different types of technology, especially in high school. College has a lot of technology. There's things called learning management systems. When you take a course, a lot of the materials are inside a computer program. So you'll need to know how to navigate that or how to have supports to help you navigate it. There's a lot of things like important due dates and priorities. So calendars are really important. Maybe you want digital calendars or digital alarms for things. Note taking. How do you keep track of everything that's going on? Maybe iPad, maybe pen and paper. Maybe there's a classroom note taker. Maybe you use transcription. There's a lot of options to explore. And what kind of tools will you use for team collaboration? How are you going to coordinate with a bunch of other people and not just yourself? So technology can be really overwhelming for everyone. But if you learn a little bit along the way and make plans for how the technology can really support you, you will really be ahead of the game. And it's really doable. It's really doable. Next slide, please. Now, also, it's all about building those adulting muscles. College is about adulting. It's about things that you don't think of, not just the fun stuff, but like laundry and personal hygiene, washing dishes. Christopher talked about taking care of his dorm room. There's a lot of those kinds of things at college. In money management, oh my goodness, it's so easy to overspend. Every time somebody asks if you want to go out, if you say yes every time, you will be in trouble. So, how do you start figuring out how to work with a budget? Time management, priorities, schedules, alarms. A lot of things happen all at once in a college environment. So, what kind of planner are you going to use? And two things I'm sure that you're already familiar with: self-determination. This is all about using the experience leading up to college and through college to help you figure out who you are. What things do you love? Colleen was mentioning how Sean loves entertainment types things. What kinds of environments can provide that? So, college and before college is the opportunity to start exploring those things. And of course, self-advocacy. Every student needs to learn self-advocacy. It's speaking up to get what you need and what you deserve to be successful in college, in life, in your job. Next slide, please. Okay, so ready, set, go. Explore the college environment. Discover what nourishes you. Don't overlook technology and build your adulting muscles. And these are all steps that you can work into IEPs, transition plans, and even summer activities so that you are college ready and that college can be a successful option for you. Thank you very much.
Kate, that was wonderful suggestions and insights, way to bring the webinar home. So we're now at the point where we are going to have opportunities for question and answer. So I'll bring out our moderators here and see what questions we might have. I think we have a few. Maybe you'll have some more as we talk. So who would like to take that away?
So we have one question here from Chris Landry, who asks, my son is really excited to enroll in college, but is very concerned about being bullied because of what occurred in high school. What protections are available for him?
Hey, any of our panelists like to take that one?
I would love to respond to that. I have had so many students ask that question when they come for interviews. And I mean, the first and the second time, I mean, it just brought tears to my eyes. And usually they would bring it up when they're kind of walking out the door and asked, am I going to be bullied here? How, I mean, it was, like not about what are the protections, but really a fear of bullying. And we have such a positive environment on our campus. I would never feel right about advocating for any students to come to the program if it were otherwise. So the sadness is there that the students experienced that in high school and how it just impacted them, and that you could just see that fear in their eyes. But I mean, sure, there's all kind of codes of conduct and those sorts of things that anyone could be punished for any type of bullying of anybody. But it's really not been an issue. And I still stand back and watch how positive this has been on our campus and then wonder, why can't it be as positive in the regular, typical high school? And, but it's, so that's my response. I mean, we've not seen it. There would be obviously protections, but I think that's what enables the students to feel that sense of belonging and grow and develop. Do you have any thoughts on that, Tartil? Did you ever feel bullied or?
No, but in New York, I did in middle school.
Okay.
I had no friends back then.
Okay. I don't know if you heard what Tartil said. She had moved here from New York, from Queens, New York, and mentioned being bullied in middle school, but didn't have that experience on our campus. So yeah, I don't know. Anyone else on that? So important.
Yes, and I was going to say that's a very important question, and your response was reassuring. So thank you for that. Anybody else have any other additional insights on that question, or do we have any other questions before we wrap it up?
I was just really quick going to say, I think in the high schools, you don't have the planning and the networking like you do on the college campus. Sean was fortunate. He had a circle of friends. There was an intention to make that and the other peers there to support him. So he did not get bullied in high school. But other students, there's not like a plan to support them the way that the programs like the Penn State one or Stroudsburg or that they have that built-in support. And I really think it makes all the world of a difference.
Robin, if I could just quickly say, I think there's a different mentality at the college level. I think most of the students do have a different outlook in life, and they're more adult-like. So you don't see quite the same level of attitudes that you do in high school. So I think that's one thing. But also, if parents go out to colleges and take a look at them, take a look at the environment, see how people interact with each other, and really just take a feel of the culture of the college and university. And if that culture feels welcoming and feels good to them, then you can trust that it probably will be a good environment for their children, and not to worry so much about the bullying part of it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes you just have a feel for the environment, right? You kind of know if it feels good or not. So thank you very much. Any other questions that we have? I'm not seeing any on my end.
Robin, we had one,
Oh, please, go ahead.
and this one brings us back to the idea that it's never too early to start planning. We had the question, what kinds of skills, what kinds of things can teams build into IEPs at the middle and high school time to be ready for college? What are those readiness skills they can start building into their IEPs early?
Great question. Any of the panelists like to respond?
I think Colleen gave you a good roadmap for how, her son went through and, the kind of planning that they did envision. But good, I see that Catherine's going to respond. So.
Hi, yeah. So it's just such a good point that you don't have to wait until you're ready for the transition to start making that plan. And having college readiness skills, I would start building them in as early as possible. The transition plan should really start to be in place when a student is 14 years old, but you can start putting these things in the IEP. You don't have to wait for the transition plan. And so some of the things that I've mentioned are things like being able to experience a college environment. And that doesn't just have to mean going to colleges, but things like working in groups. Can you do teamwork types of assignments? Even the independent living skills, the self-advocacy skills, the self-determination, all of those kinds of things are part of college readiness. And don't forget technology, technology, technology.
Thank you, Kate.
Real quick too, but keep in mind, we're talking about inclusive education. So the student doesn't necessarily have to be ready. We want to have everything ready for the student. So, there's going to be some disabilities they're just going to have. So when we're getting ready for them to go to college, we're creating the plan and getting them to their potential, but we don't have to, there's no set, like you have to be able to do the XYZ in order to go to college. Any student can go to college.
100%. Yeah. And so I want to clarify that 100%. But part of readiness is that you feel comfortable. College can be overwhelming. And it really is not like high school. So it's an entirely new environment. And so that's part of what I mean about readiness is if you have tried those spaces before, you've tried them on, you begin to understand and see how you can navigate. It gives you so much more comfort, understanding where the safe spaces are, where you can go to people and ask for help. So yes, the college, every single person can go to college, but it's more about you feeling ready for it and making the choice if you even want to.
Yes, and I think too, what we've underscored in these webinars is that there are so many different options and so many different kinds of programs. So the kinds of skills and supports of readiness and so forth will vary, but there probably are some common sort of things that also thread through all of them. So, okay, I'm looking at the clock. It is the magic hour of 8:02 actually. So it's my time to wrap this up and to say so much gratitude and thank you to everyone who has participated in these webinars, the students, the stories, all the different presenters, and you in the audience who either watching this live or later. And we're just very, very grateful. And I don't think that as we were planning this, that we realized the collective treasure trove of wonderful suggestions, resources, and perspectives that we would have. So I have just a couple of housekeeping sort of things to end up here. As a reminder, we want to let you know again that all webinar attendees tonight, you will receive an email that will notify you when webinar 3 video will be posted to the TASH YouTube channel. It will also have a lot of these resources that we mentioned today. Last, we would like you to take a few minutes to complete a survey that we're putting in the chat that will allow you to give us some feedback on the webinars and maybe some ideas for future webinars. So last, we just hope that these webinars, will leave you with new information and insights and with a vision for new possibilities for inclusive post-secondary education. So thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your evening and consider the possibilities.